Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my gun out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard goddamn work being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front side, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it? Game time.
Okay. Welcome to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We're coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness, the Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, B. Caruana, joined as always by my man, Steve Burrows.
Hello there.
Before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Larry and Lad. Go see the boys from Region Arcade, get yourself an awesome coffee and listen to pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on with the show. Now, we'd like to apologise. We had a week off. We needed a bit of rest and recreation. The 50th show took a lot out of us.
Yeah, exactly.
And the 51st show was pretty average. So we needed to take a week to regroup, refresh. And we're back at it. And this week, we got some audio gold for you.
Oh, have we? Yeah, don't build it up or nothing.
Well, I hope so, because after not having something for a week, we better deliver now.
Woo! Oh, yeah. All right, well, let's kick it off, man. What have we got to start with the show? I'm keen as. I'm very excited.
We got nothing.
Okay.
No, we will get started with our traditional favourite. It's time for the Shiploke Awards.
Okay, let's hear the Shiploke Awards.
Many are born flogs, but only a select few are truly eligible for the Shit Bloke Awards. With your host, Spee Caruana.
So, Stevie, what have you got for us so far this week?
Actually, can I just add? Sorry to cut into your segment here, but I did actually want to.
I'm just hosting it.
I'm sorry. But I did want to reiterate that there were actually disappointed people that we did. One of our loyal listeners, Brett.
Yeah.
He drives back and forth. He has a really long drive.
Yeah.
And every Wednesday he actually looks forward to listening.
Yeah.
And he was very disappointed that we went on this Wednesday.
Well, you could have come and done the show, Brett.
Yeah, that's right.
One vote for Brett for not coming on.
There we go.
You know what? You left us hanging, mate.
There you go.
Sometimes we need you to pick us up as much as you need us to pick you up, all right? Stop being selfish. Beam it, man. One vote. Who's got two votes?
All right. That's perfect. All right. So
just quickly before you show it there, I have had another 3 voter brought in.
Okay.
By my man Cole Nash.
Okay.
Same person he voted for last time. I said, have you got any votes for me? He goes, yeah, Kevin Durant. I'm like, why? He goes, I just still fucking hate him. I'm like,
polling, man.
Kevin Durant's on 9. So
Wow.
he's doing really, really well. I think he's going to run away. He's going to be our runaway leader.
All right. So the votes I want to give this week to Spee is the AFL Match Review Committee.
Okay.
And whoever runs that debacle of a fucking department of the AFL, man.
Okay. So what have they done?
All right. Well, Crows played and the season finished last week.
Yes.
It was all over.
Yep.
So we're in a filthy mood anyway. I mean, look, let's be honest. The Crows haven't had a good year.
No.
Through
Everyone's
injury
snapping
and-
every hamstring available. Yep.
Exactly. So,
And the fact they're just not really that good.
what? Actually, no, we weren't very good. We had our moments.
Yeah.
We knocked off Port, which was nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that's the highlight. But anyway, the reason I wanted to bring up the old match review panel and Michael Christian,
Oh, there you go.
name names.
First naming.
Name names is the tackle that Tex Walker did on the wing.
Yeah. The sling tackle.
No,
that has been ruled throughout the year to be a dangerous sling tackle.
Well, that's the thing. I actually disagree. Well, I don't feel it was a sling tackle. I felt it began to be a sling tackle.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, Tex, I could see it in his goofy face, his goofy expressions. He was like, "Hang on a second."
Now, are you reviewing this in real time or in slow motion? Because in slow motion, everything looks either a lot worse or a lot better.
Yeah. Well, in real time, it got called on the ball.
Yeah.
So obviously, the first thing was it was a great fucking tackle.
Until the guy didn't get up.
Yeah, I know, but that's. I mean, is that how we judge it these days?
The precedent has been set. Remember, Nick Naitanui got 2 weeks because he tackled a guy. They said it was dangerous tackle, and they said he needed to take into account his size. So he tackled a guy smaller than him and got penalised for being too big.
Yeah.
This is the precedent. This is the problem with the AFL
So
these days.
there we go. So the MRP whoever they called, Michael Christian, who was a lousy footy player, by the way.
Yeah.
He played for Collingwood, I'm pretty sure in the 90s.
As I always said at basketball, every ref is a failed athlete.
Yeah, that's right. And I think he even was a commentator for a little while there.
Yeah,
and he wasn't very good at that either, man.
No.
So what do? You go and then you...
Yeah, I'm making the rules now and you guys play by my rules.
And he gave Tex, well, I'm sure, his process... Tex ended up with 2 weeks. Now, look, the season's over, and Tex
I'm pretty
is probably...
sure Tex only got 1 week, and he went, if I challenge this, is there a chance I can get 2 weeks and I can nick off the barley early?
Right. So
And I reckon he's asked for 2 weeks. Because what's the
got
point
it.
of coming back after a week and the season's over?
Nah, fair call. He has got responsibility. He's a captain, but I'm on board with that. But the fact is that I felt the tackle was not suspension worthy.
Yeah.
And
But that's
as
the thing,
such,
that's the AFL these days. Like, everything is, like, everyone's so protected. You know what I mean? Like, let's mess around, let's change the rules. Okay, no worries. They thought about bringing that in, and then there was just happened to be one of the great, like a couple of weeks back, one of the greatest weekends of football where every game on
amazing.
Friday and Saturday was determined by less than a goal.
Yeah.
And they're like, nothing wrong with the game. Yes, there is something fucking wrong with the game. It's designed for guys that can run all day like soccer players. Because if you run all day and then make contact with people, your muscles are stuffed. And that's the reason why muscles keep tearing. You know, we're getting more like muscle pulls and tears and that sort of thing in football these days than we did in the 80s and the 90s when guys actually played positions. And, it wasn't so much running. It was more, everyone kept their positions. Now everyone has to be an athlete, has to run up and down the field. So that's the reason why everyone's getting hurt. So it's become an athletic game. So therefore they're trying to get all the physicalness out of the game, the physicality. And that's why, these tackles are now deemed dangerous. And like if you hit someone high, it's not only a free kick, it's 50. Like there's no such thing as, make him earn it, on a mark or a marking contest. If someone's got a chance for a mark and you just run into him, bam, that's 50. And you're probably getting it reported.
Yeah, but the reason why these players can afford to run 100 miles an hour and tackle is because as soon as they do, then they can have a spell for 3 minutes on the bench.
Yeah.
Remember in the old days when you were riding the pine?
You were riding the pine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was no fucking interchange where you just on and off every 4 minutes.
Well, Cam Mooney has a premiership medallion from North Melbourne, and he played 4 minutes of that game.
I did not even know
They
that.
were literally, he was literally in the game for 4 minutes or 5 minutes, something like that. It was like a small amount of time because they had 4 people on the bench and they didn't need to use all of them. You're down to 3 on the bench. It's like, oh my God, we're down to rotation.
That's right.
Game's over. It's become too much of an athletic game. And the same thing can be said for the NBA too. Like, I remember I brought it up a few months ago. It was during the season. It was a game between the Cavs and the Pacers. And you know how much I love my boy LeBron. It was a situation where he got switched out in the wing, and it was him and Domantas Sabonis, Arvydas' boy. And he starts doing the whole, we see when he starts to back up, and he's about to pull off some, fancy dribbles and drive past someone, and he's just trying to show this kid up, and he's like dribbling, between the legs, behind the back, and as soon as he goes for a layup, the kid hard fouls him. But they deem it, flagrant 2, kids ejected. It's like, are you kidding?
Yeah,
that used to be the part of the game. You show somebody up, you better be able to back it up because there was rules that you were allowed to sort of iron people out, With this, it was just like nothing. That they now penalise you. They want to see people be soft and fancy and that sort of thing. So the hardness out of most sport is gone. I mean, they've got a new rule in the NFL with tackling. If you have your head down when you commit a tackle, that's now a 15-yard penalty. It's a personal foul. It's like, well, all these guys have been taught their entire career, head down, tackle, and now it's a penalty. So it's like, you're now taking all the physicality out of the game because you want it to be high scoring and this and that, but that's not necessarily what everyone wants to see.
Well, yeah. So with the AFL, I figure, I'm no rules committee guy or whatever, but I think if you change...
But apparently you can do that.
No, but I'm exactly. But I feel if you change the laws of the game, it might be different. I think there was 120 interchanges possible at the moment.
Yeah.
Let's put it to 20.
Yeah.
So then, when guys want to have a break, they go rest up a full forward like they did in the old days, man. Or the forward pocket.
Yeah.
You're not sitting there with Dangerfield, who's like this, freak athlete anyway. He can run all fucking day. But he does. He runs 6 minutes and he goes has a spell. So then the next time he comes on, he's fresh again.
And that's the thing, because they want the game to be faster.
Yeah.
They want it to be fast. And they know that when people get tired and the ball gets congested and there's heaps of ball ups and that sort of stuff, they don't want that to happen. And then they also don't want teams flooding, like they used to, that sort of thing. So they need the guys to keep running. That's why it's become like an aerobic sport. It's now about who's got the highest aerobic capacity, who can run the furthest.
But when you say they, who's they? Because everyone seems to be complaining about what the game looks like now. So who's they? You mean the AFL?
The AFL.
So I guess they see it as a business. I guess they want it to be pretty. I guess
they want it to be pretty because they know high scores equals ratings. Even Port. I went to Port last weekend. Went to Port and West Coast. And the end score was like 58 to 54 or something, which is not a high scoring game.
That's a dreadful scoring game, yeah.
Exactly. But it was a good footy. It was just tough footy, but there just wasn't a lot of goals being kicked.
Right.
But, that sounds like, if you just hear that score, you're like, ugh, what happened in that game? They want it to be high scoring. So that's why defenders get penalised. So you want to kick more goals. They want to see it free flowing, and they're worried about soccer. They're worried about that parents don't want their kids to play tackle sports because they're worried about the concussion bullshit, and they're worried about, it used to be, you knew the dangers going into playing an aggressive sport. That's what you did. But now they're just trying to. This almost goes back to our conversation of what makes a man from a couple of months ago. But they're trying to take.
Great episode that was. Great episode.
We're really spot on with some of our analysis, as we just pat ourselves on the back. But it's one of those things. They just try to take that sort of toughness out of sport. They want it always comes down to the participation trophy award thing. It's like everyone needs to be able to have a go. Everyone needs to be able to play. Everyone needs to be able to win. Everyone needs to feel like a winner. It's like, well, no. It used to be the fittest, the strongest, the toughest. They could play. Now it's just like, well, can you run for a lot? All right, cool. You don't really have a lot of other skills, but you can run. So we'll teach
you how to play footy.
Yeah, we'll get the guy that was in the steeplechase. To play footy. It's not like a guy like Greg Williams wouldn't get a game these days. A guy like Tony Lockett wouldn't get a game these days. And these are two of the greatest players in the history of the AFL.
Yeah.
It's a completely different sport because they need to mass market it and they need to keep the kids involved. And when it was a rough game and a tough game, people still went. But they know that they need to attract the kids. And to get the kids, you need to seem like it's a safe environment so the parents bring them along. Because otherwise, like adults these days are retarded. They're not going to go out to an event. You think about local footy, like a normal game between like Sturt and Port would draw, 30,000 people. Now they're lucky if they get 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
People don't go out to events anymore. Unless it's something seen as a big ticket item. And AFL is still pushing itself as a big ticket item. That's the reason why everyone's going still.
Yeah, that's right. Do you think it's because this is not on script, folks? But do you think it's because people now? Obviously it's different for you. You live in town.
Yeah.
You're a $6 Uber ride away from anything you want.
Yeah.
Someone like me, I'm further out.
Yeah.
So what I do is I build the house around me. So then I don't have to go out anymore.
Yeah.
I've got the TV.
But people have that mentality, even with even if they live close to the city, they still don't have the house around them.
Don't know if it's.
So it's even like people that don't even have they don't have to live away distance wise. People are just insulated. I think we talked about this. People don't go out to things anymore. Everyone streams everything and watches it on their own time. That sort of thing. So it's become So they need to know that if you get your kids involved and you create memories for the kids, they still want to take their kids out. You always want to take your kids out somewhere. And so that's the one thing they try to do. They try to keep it a kid's sport, and then you'd still take your kids down once a year to go see the footy, yeah?
Definitely, yeah. Sophia's talking about it all the time, yeah.
But you wouldn't do it if you thought, it's going to be a slow, low-scoring game, that sort of thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So you understand how they're doing it that way. It's terrible for traditional fans like us, but it's one of those things where, and every now and then you get a weekend like we had a couple of weekends ago where everything's close and it's great footy. And it's like times like in finals footy where they say, they put the whistle away in finals footy. It's like, just do it every fucking week.
Yeah.
But they've got to keep it, for the most part, they've got to keep it, nice and sanitized and in a nice little package. So people will leave the house and get there. Okay? But the problem is, some people don't even have a house to live in, Steve.
No, they don't.
Well, because we got some more feedback, because this is the thing, we've had some few messages. From people going, where's the show last week?
Yeah.
You know what? We had a week off. Give us a break,
Yeah. Hey, Brett, you want another vote?
Another vote? Do you go to work every day? No. All right? We didn't call in sick. We just didn't rock up.
That's right.
And the thing is, but you know what did rock up? Another message from quote-unquote Greg.
Oh, mate, Greg.
He seems a lot happier.
Oh, does he?
Well, not happy, but he seems not to be so angry. I think he's sort of calmed down a little bit.
Well, a couple of weeks has passed.
Yeah, and after he tried to use me for catfishing reasons. Fucking jerk. Anyway, we've got another letter from Greg.
Oh, Greg, he's in touch. Love it.
No, I feel like you're taking the piss out of it. There was a lot of sarcasm in that, Steve.
Well, you
Wow, I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, well, the last time he wasn't hate on me so much, it was hate on you. And
So now you welcome him.
I'm happy to hear from Greg. What did he have to say for himself?
Well, he's gone to high speed and Steve. It's almost like he's got Stockholm syndrome. You know,
There
like
you
he's
go.
now fallen in love with his captors. He's just checking in with the podcast that quote unquote changed my life.
Changed my life.
I don't know whether he's giving us sarcasm.
I think he had a bit to do with that himself, and all the scrolling and the liking and the.
Your thumbs change your life,
Come on,
Greg.
mate.
So it turns out living in your car isn't as all cracked up to be. See? Like I said, some people don't have a house, Steve. But you know what the thing is? He's mobile.
Oh, that's
He can
good.
go.
Yeah.
And he goes, but at least living in the McDonald's car park has free Wi-Fi and I have a decent view of my house. Right. So, well, he lives near a McDonald's.
That's
nice to know.
That's good.
How many McDonald's are there near your place? I'm hoping we can narrow this guy down.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll see because I'm a bit of a frequenter of McDonald's, so I might see you there, Greg. I don't know. If I haven't seen you on the train, I might see you in McDonald's.
Each day I watch Nancy get the kids off to school and then return home. That's nice. Stopping only to cry in the driveway 15 minutes. Ooh. She's obviously miserable without me, so at least I have that going for me. Like, oh, mate. Greg.
He's a half glass full guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's always reveling in her. Like, okay, they had their problems.
Yeah.
Things have fallen apart. But you don't have to, like, want them to go to shit. You know, you should want both of you to move on amicably. It turns out this guy, a little bit vindictive. Somewhat of a jerk. Okay, this is the third day in a row I haven't been to work, and I'm getting some quality time in with Nancy and the kids, watching from afar.
Yeah, quality time.
Right, this is getting creepy. My boss says if I don't come in Friday, then don't bother coming in on Monday. It's great of him to give me the time off during this tough period of my life.
Boss of the year, right there.
Oh, I think Greg... You know how we picked up the sarcasm? I don't think he picks up the sarcasm. Greg, got some advice for you, mate. Maybe just duck in on Friday.
Be on that train, buddy.
Oh, shit, this doesn't come back to Wednesdays.
No. Today, I didn't see him.
We do record on Friday.
I can't recall seeing him today on the train.
Well, he's in the car in McDonald's, so I don't know how he's freshening up for work. Or is he doing your fucking trick and just not showering and getting on the train?
Showers at work. That's totally acceptable, by the way.
It's not acceptable,
It is, man. Look, just clear it up, folks. I stand on my own on the train. I don't even stand near anyone. No, I'm there's often seats
You
around
don't
me.
stand near anyone, but you just leer over shoulders.
Look, man, if you're gonna be like your phone showing it to everybody, then if you want to be hiding that shit, tuck it up into your chest, like
you're playing poker or something.
like you're playing exactly. Hide them cards, but don't be showing everyone, all the girls on Instagram.
Greg,
and then
this is your fault because you didn't hide your cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, how is it my fault? First of all, his real name isn't even Greg.
It doesn't matter. That's what we know him as.
Well, how did Nancy? Is that even her real name?
Yeah. No one know you as Blase, and they still didn't call you Blase anyway. They called you Blazer or Buster or something. They never called you by your real name. But we know a fake name's still a real name if you know that person.
Let's get back to Greg. All right. So, what's going on, Greg? Go to work, man. All right. I don't think your boss is really gonna.
And Nancy. Oh, he shouldn't have really outed.
Is Nancy still listening?
I hope she's still listening.
Yeah.
Nance, put down the glass of wine. You're a single mother now. We need you to be strong for these children because we think Greg may be going off the deep end. But we're going to move on from that. We don't need to dwell on the negativity that you have caused, Steve. You've caused enough hurt. Let's talk about the man that's going to cause a bit more hurt in his next stop.
Okay.
We're talking about the man that just signed a $2.4 million contract to play 1 year for the Houston Rockets. This is the love of your life, Steve. Carmelo Anthony.
That's beautiful. 2.4 million, big ones.
Yep.
That's a big buy for Houston.
It's a big buy for Houston. Now I got a question, just quickly, just on the topic of Carmelo.
Yeah.
And my man LeBron, because they are good friends.
Yep.
What's LeBron's best move so far this offseason? Signing with the Lakers, or posting the photo that Atlanta put up of the Carmelo Anthony jersey, and he went, undefeated in the A. Good job, brother.
I didn't even know about that.
It was hilarious. Just
Wow.
the Hawks put up saying, thanks for the memories, and they had made up a jersey, Anthony 15 jersey, and put it up. And he retweeted, LeBron retweeted it and tagged him in it and stuff like that. So,
was he taking the piss?
Oh, for sure, mate.
Well,
and your ability to pick up sarcasm is bordering on Greg's.
LeBron, remember those 3 credit votes?
Yep.
I'm taking one of them off now, you motherfucker. That was not very nice, man. He's in a time of need there, old Melo.
Time of need. He's getting paid $29 million this year.
Being NBA, man, like, is it really that much? Yeah, it is actually.
It is.
A lot of money. That's a lot of money. Greg wouldn't mind a bit of that money at the moment.
It sounds like Greg would do with $29.
Yeah.
Not even $29 million.
He would get on that.
Anyway, what do you think about the move to Houston?
I think, look, this is it.
Yeah.
He's...
Are they first seed again this year?
It's them and Warriors, obviously. Them Warriors. Boston?
No, in the West.
DeRozan to San Antonio. What are you trying to get at here, man?
There's a team that's going to finish first in the West.
And it's not Golden State?
No.
It's not Houston.
I don't know why I'm doing this voice, but no.
Who are we talking
Los Angeles fucking Lakers, man. Get on the page.
Yeah, I didn't get the hint there. I actually didn't think you were actually honestly believing that. Look, can I put out an assessment? What I think is going to happen?
Okay,
can I put out a prediction?
Yes.
And now this is fantastic. What I love about this move with LeBron out to LA is he's finally going to be in a conference that is actually going to make him earn some wins, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's no cakewalk to the finals this year, man.
Yeah.
He's Lakers
Even
team.
though the three worst teams in the NBA last year were all in the West?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Okay. But what about the best teams, though?
Well, 2 of the top 4 were.
Well, Houston had 65 wins, and
then,
Golden State had 60.
Yeah, and
plus.
then Boston had like 58, and so did and they were
Toronto.
second. Yeah, Toronto had about 59 or something. Yeah.
Right.
So
and then after that,
it was pretty even.
Okay,
it was the first time that both conferences were actually pretty even.
Bit closer.
Yeah, it was a lot closer. I mean, traditionally it has been.
Oh yeah, what about the 8 other NBA Finals appearances he rocked up in?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
about the past.
Look, I think. Oh man, I've got this cough happening here at the moment.
Yeah. Just get yourself a little mouthful of water, Steve. You feeling better now?
I feel better, thank you.
Okay, mate. New pat on the back.
Yeah.
Get rid of the coughs. Finish your story, mate.
All right. So yeah, LA. I think LeBron. He's going to have to play against teams like Houston. 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State.
Who's going to defend him on Houston?
Who's going to defend him in Houston? Well, that's obviously Melo at number 3.
Oh, okay.
He'll be defending him.
Traditionally, how's Melo gone defending LeBron?
Actually, Melo and LeBron have had some really good matchups over the years.
How has Melo gone defending LeBron since 2010? They had some good ones back in 03, 04, 05, 06, and then Melo got fat, and it wasn't really so much.
Anyway, so he's going to play Houston a few times. Golden State, he'll probably play 4 times.
Yep, Golden State will be a toughie.
We'll mark those four losses right down there.
Well, actually, that's not necessarily true because the Lakers beat the Warriors the last 3 years. They've beaten them at least one game.
But you know, you play to your competition level, man.
Yeah.
You know, so you can, even in that league, you will probably do subconsciously take nights off a little bit more. You're playing at 100 all the time, but sometimes you're going to play at 97. And when you're playing at an elite NBA level,
but that's all I'm saying is I don't think it's going to take. I don't think it's going to be a 4 nights. Okay.
Houston, and just the hard rigors of the West, man. There's some teams out there, like even Utah. They're going to beat Lakers,
Utah are going to be a good team.
Minnesota will probably beat Lakers.
Minnesota's a dumpster fire at the moment. When you've got your best players at odds with each other, like Jimmy Butler has come out and said he doesn't want to re-sign there because he doesn't like the guys that he's playing with. He doesn't like their sort of intensity levels.
Right.
And you've got a coach that doesn't use the bench. So you've got a coach that plays these guys, 40 minutes a game in the regular season.
Yeah.
And if your 3 best players aren't getting along, well, I think there's going to be a big drop off in Minnesota. It's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, well, someone's going to get traded.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
And they'll still beat the Lakers. And then you got San Antonio with their new signing.
Yep.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yep.
They'll be beating the Lakers.
Yeah.
Look, Lakers. This is my prediction. Okay, take me a while to get around to this.
How much are we putting on this, Steve?
All right.
What's your over/under for Lakers wins?
Lakers will win this year 46 games.
46?
And they'll come 6th in the West.
6th in the West.
Oklahoma will beat the Lakers this year.
What do you want to put on it? Because I reckon they will finish with more than 46. So we'll go 46 and a half as the over/under.
46
what's that?
46 and 36, is that? Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And we'll go that as the over/under.
Yep.
And I think they'll finish higher than 6.
Where do you think they're going to come?
Well, I don't know, mate. Higher than 6.
No.
So 5th and up.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
That's
yeah.
usually
That's
higher
pretty-
than 6.
That's pretty clear, actually.
Yeah.
Should have thought about that one. Okay, so yep. All right. Well, I'm willing to put something on it.
All right, should we do some? That's actually that can be our feedback for this week, guys. You complain that we don't put a show on, but then we ask for feedback. You give us donuts. But get on the Facebook. You guys can set the parameters. If Steve's right, I'll do something. And we don't do money. We don't bet money. We're friends. We don't. There's no joy in
And
taking.
plus, I've got to run that pass through the wire.
Yeah.
We got to put that in the budget.
Yeah, Satan will get
it's
mad at
really
me if I
hard
take too
work.
much money out of the savings.
Yeah.
But if we would do a challenge, you know?
Okay.
I mean, I know I still owe you burpees,
Yeah.
but
That must be about 400 by now, man.
okay. I'll set mine.
Okay.
I'll let you guys choose one for Steve on behalf of me, but I'll set mine. Steve,
Yep.
Lakers get over 47 plus wins.
Yep.
Finish higher than 6.
Yep.
Me and you,
Yep.
romantic night,
Oh, no.
couple of beers,
Couple of beers.
maybe a pizza, couple
Oh,
of burgers,
hello.
candles,
Yep.
Notting Hill.
Okay. That sounds like a great night anyway.
Even if you fell asleep in the movie, you're still...
Yeah.
Did you say there was no kids? Yeah.
Yes, no kids, right. Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll let the
Well, if you think of something, you can throw it as. But if you think...
sounds like that you've had that on deck for a little while there. That came a bit too easy.
I've been waiting for a time to ask you, Steve. You know, I just get nervous around you.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
sweating right now.
Okay.
But yeah, well, you can come up with something. We'll get our listeners.
I would like the listeners to come up with
Yeah.
something. Since they didn't come up with a survive
It's gonna be
application
like
form.
Brett going, oh, he has to keep his shirt on for a year. Brett,
actually
you're
is pretty
not funny. Yeah. That's not. That joke is as old as Mello's ability in basketball. We're going to move on to something that we talk about watching.
Yes.
Watching, I want you to watch a romantic comedy with me, Steve.
Okay, yes.
But I have been watching some romantic television.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah. The new series
Tell me more.
of The Bachelor. Have you gotten into this, Steve?
No, I haven't.
This surprises me.
Look, there was a one-time deal last year
Yeah?
when I just happened to see, that dude who was just that red face guy.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah,
that
yes,
dude's
yes,
such a
yes, yes.
dick.
Yeah.
And I had to tell you about it, but that was
Bachelor in Paradise.
and that was like a bit of an all-stars thing, so I
Yeah.
could probably jump on a bit about
No,
that.
this is the one. Okay.
the one.
The one. I've sort of not really paid attention to Bachelor. I didn't mind a bit of Bachelor in Paradise. Like I said,
Sure,
it's an All
sure.
Stars. It's basically a concoction of some of the biggest fuck ups you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
But this Bachelor is outstanding because the Bachelor is none other than the honey badger, Nick Cummins.
Now, hang on, just before I go. Now, is that the guy from the Jocks ads?
Yes.
Is he a rugby player or
Yes,
something?
yeah. He used to play for the Wallabies.
Right.
He played for the Western Force and stuff as well. Like, really good rugby player.
Okay.
Like, union player. Famously sort of quit playing for the Wallabies and playing for Western Force to go to Japan to play because he was going to get paid more money because he needed the money to help fund his dad's cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the recovery and stuff like that, and his treatments. So he's just your genuine lad, and he sort of became famous not only just for the curly hair, but for the way he speaks. He's a real, ocker. He has all the sayings, and like, I'm busier than a one-armed bricklayer in Baghdad, and this and that, and I got the ball and I was off like a bride's nighty, and like he just loves that shit. So he's.
Oh, you'd be all over that.
Oh,
wouldn't you?
mate, I was on this guy. I've been on this guy for years, like our loyal listener, Patrick, over in Sydney.
Yep.
It's his lovely girlfriend, Jessica. She put me onto him because she grew up in Canberra, huge rugby fan, and she's like, nah, you gotta get around this guy. And then she showed it to Patty showed it to me. And if you just look up his YouTube of his post-match interviews, it's just the funniest shit. Like, I've sweat like a gypsy with a mortgage. Like just stuff that Greg can relate to. Like just really, really funny stuff. And they've chucked him in as a bachelor. Like he's built.
Oh, he's a gimmick now.
He's a
then.
gimmick. I don't care. Mate, we're wrestlers. We fall for fucking gimmicks.
Okay.
And the funniest thing about this show is, I enjoy watching him and
Yeah.
the way he talks and that sort of stuff. Like he was they were doing like a promo for it the other day, and he's on the project. And he's talking about what one of the girls, like she did like a flip up on him and then started doing sit-ups off his shoulders. It was one of the girls from Adelaide. And he just goes, she's doing all these crunches and I've got something that not even a cattle dog could chew through. And like on the panel that night on the project was like Tommy Little and Fitzy. And those two were just staring at him like you could just see the man crush. They're like,
Yeah.
they love, he's just a bloke's bloke,
Okay.
So that's why I'm enjoying the show. Now, that was enough for me to get my attention on it because I'm a big Nick Cummins fan. The girls on this show are fucking A-grade psychos.
Oh.
It is incredible. I can't even Cummins, I'm staying for the girls because they are out of control. Like me and the lovely Miss Satan, we were watching it on the couch. And she's just like, are you paying attention? Because usually, like, when we're watching a bit of reality TV, I'm playing Candy Crush or baseball, whatever, yeah. But I was just like, phone down, all right. She goes, watch this girl. Like, they're just like, if he's off talking to somebody else, they're over peering over, looking at him and that sort of stuff. This one girl was just like, first time she met him, I had like a book of, like, what are they called? Affirmations and stuff like that. And I wrote down this moment. And he's like, right, yeah. And then he goes and talks to somebody else. And she's literally looking at him like, how dare you, Like, you're mine, She looks like I'm going to not only marry him, but then I'm going to cut off his skin and wear it as a suit. Like, it's great TV because it's just an absolute car crash. So I think you might need to get behind it, Steve.
Okay, well, the thing is, I only watch that stuff if the wife is watching it.
Okay.
So it's at the moment she's into about season 14 of the Kardashians.
Oh, Jonah, no.
Yeah.
Jonah, you can get that anytime.
Yeah,
I'm speaking directly to Jonah.
Yeah.
Jonah, you can go and watch Kardashians anytime. They're going to come out on DVD. You can buy a box. Do people buy a box of DVD?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, you can probably stream it online.
Yeah.
The kids do that. I don't know. It's cool. But get on The Bachelor.
Right.
Get on 10 Play. Watch the replays. Batchy, I'm telling you, fucking gold. You're going to love it, Jonah. It's going to change your life.
All right. Sounds good. Anything else? Anything else you got for me? Any other TV shows?
Well, Steve.
Yeah.
This is Steve trying to do a subtle segue.
Yeah.
You didn't do too well.
I've had a week off. I'm a bit rusty.
You're very rusty there. Your show.
Yeah.
I've been all about it. And I've been texting you. Like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh, you're watching this, blah, blah. And what did I get back?
What are you
Bumpkus.
watching?
Nothing. What are you watching? Fucking Survivor. Steve, this is your show.
Yeah.
Australian Survivor. Why are you not watching?
I'm a bit dirty.
Yeah.
I'm not on it. Thanks to the listeners.
Yeah.
They did get the votes accordingly.
Yeah.
Look, it's one of those things. Once you miss the first episode, how can you catch up on it? Yeah.
No, you just jump in. Like, I only ever watch like every second or third day. Like, I don't really need to see everything.
No, you do. That's the thing. Survivor. When you watch Survivor, in my opinion, when you watch Survivor, you're committing to Survivor.
Okay.
You need.
So you think I'm just being a bit of a floozy?
You are,
just dabbling,
in
just
between
telling
that and Bachelor, with your little champagne flute, and, no. And
I'm putting out people's like lights, like torches with
torches,
like a rose.
that's
And you're just like, you
right,
can't do that, mate.
No.
So you're gonna be all in or nothing.
I think so because Survivor, there's so many intricate relationships. Now, obviously, Bachelor. See, Bachelor to me is a bit like, these psycho chicks after this one guy.
Yeah.
But the Survivor, there's like so many things going on, and if you miss one episode,
You missed everything.
you miss a lot of relationship building or breaking down and stuff like that, which actually may only unfold 3 or 4 episodes later. Now the thing is, the problem with Survivor with this episode, and our boy Rastley watches it. It's funny because when I used to watch Survivor, I used to tell people about it. People were like, nah, it's rubbish. And now I'm not watching it. Everyone's fucking watching it, so I'm a bit upset. But my boy Rastley, he's watched it for the last few years, and he says that this Survivor now, it's only the 3rd season of Australian Survivor. But it's already gone this route of having all-stars on it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gimmick this time.
And it's a bit like, come on, no, you don't need that. You're rating well already.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're sold out already. It's like, no, relax, take your time,
It's not so much an all-star, because it's not all-star survivors.
No, but it's a gimmick still. It's not
still a bit of a
Team
gimmick.
A versus Team B.
Well,
it's not boys versus girls.
It is a team A versus team, but it's a team of what they've dubbed the champions against the challengers, So the champions team is, like Matt Rogers used to play rugby union, and you've got the Commando from Biggest Loser, who I'm a huge fucking rap for. Love you, Steve. Yeah, Commando Steve. He even made me cry the other day. What
do you mean?
Oh, because they won some challenge and they get the letter from home. And there was like a letter from his son or his daughter or something from his kids, and it just it was, why do you like your dad? It's like, because I love him. And it was just like, what makes your dad the best? It's like, because I love him. And it was just like, just on the couch, just like, fucking hay fever's kicking in already. Yeah. Stop cutting those onions. We've already had dinner. I'm like, piss off. Like, I'm crying. Like, it was just really sweet. But then they've had some guy that's apparently the best Survivor player of all time. Yeah. But he got booted out the first episode, which was pretty funny.
I know.
But yeah, but then you got your regular folk. And there's just been a lot of, your standard Survivor-y infighting with your regular folk. But you can tell that it's going to go the other way with the other team. You know, once they start having to mesh the teams and that sort of stuff, you can see the seeds of it being turned now.
It's so good.
Like so much like Commando Steve got mad because they lost the first one and they voted out. There was one guy in it was like an army vet who didn't have had prosthetic legs.
Okay.
And like the girls were
Hang on,
like,
was he a proper commando?
not well, yeah. Legit,
What's the deal with commando?
I think it was just like a boot
is this
camp gimmicky thing. I think he may have done some sort of armed service. I don't know his whole story. His kids made me cry. But I cried every week. So, but no, he was the one that was really shitty when they voted this guy up. And the girls are like saying on the show, like, this is what made me laugh. The girls on the show are like, oh, he's such a liability when it comes to challenges, you know, because he's
like physical
crippled.
challenges,
And it's just like, righto, yet if someone goes, oh, I don't want these fucking girls in Survivor because they're a liability for physical challenges, all of a sudden, you know, everyone will be raining shit. It's like, okay, so are you allowed to be somewhat, you know, prejudiced and, you know, imbalanced against someone that's got a handicap as opposed to somebody who's just because they're not physically as strong?
Yeah.
You'd be getting, like, they would be getting torn to shreds about it. And it was just ironic that it was a female athlete. She's an Olympian. That does snowboarding or something.
Okay.
Or skiing. She's a Winter Olympian.
Right.
So not really a real Olympian. But she's the one that panned him. Yeah. That panned him for being a liability. It's like, well, fucking... And then Steve, like, cut up rough about that. So you're missing a lot, Steve. Like,
is his name Steve? Commando Steve?
Commando Steve, yeah. So he was getting fired up about that. He wasn't happy with it. But then they won the next few challenges because there's a few lads with some rigs in the challenger team, and they've been doing really well in the challenges, but it's the girls that let them down. And then it's like, well, how can you say that it's the girls, this and that? And there's
always the girls.
And there was just one the other day where it's like this big tall dude, he's like 6'9", he's enormous. And they all tried to, you know, like fuck him over. And it was just that, you know, everyone vote, blah, 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 blah. And then it was the classic, if anyone's got immunity idol. And he just goes, oh, yeah, this has been way more down my pocket. You know,
brilliant.
And he hands it up.
Oh, so good.
Everyone voted for him, but him, obviously, and he voted for this one other girl, and she was out. It was fucking brilliant. That's why I text you, are you watching this, Steve?
I know, dude.
I'm hooked. I'm a Survivor guy now.
Dude, I've been there 25 seasons strong, man.
Yeah.
And,
I'm always late to the party, but I'm always there. Fashionably late.
Yeah, look, man, I'd love to. What channel? But you've kind of given me some spoilers. I know that Russell went out.
Yes.
And that straight away almost turned me off.
So Russell,
anyway. Russell's the American guy that got over.
Oh, the super survivor.
Yes, he was like an oil tycoon guy apparently in the original Survivors. But that dude, you know, he had a target on his back. Obviously, I haven't seen 1 second of it. But what I'm assuming is that he had a target on his back. They picked him up because this guy was legitimate human emotions manipulator. I almost want to let you watch old. I want you to watch old ones, but you can't because they're kind of dated now. I guess, but
it's one of those shows that doesn't really hold up. Yeah, you watch it as you watch it as it's happening. Otherwise, you can't really go back and visit.
It's funny, but you watch those first seasons of Survivor, and now you know those challenges, which I love. Those challenges, you know, they've got massive fortresses, and you got to do this and that. In the original one, it was almost like, there's a stick over there. Go get it. Yeah. Whoever doesn't get it, you're off. It was so fucking...
Can you stand on 1 foot? Who can stand on 1 foot the longest? It was this is shit. Yeah.
It was. And the only reason... And that's what was funny about it, because that Survivor, when they first did it, it was on an island. And it was literally like 16 or 20 Americans. They just threw them on there. And they said who survived. And there were some games and shit in it. But there was a guy called Richard. And he was a prick. And he ended up winning the first ever one.
First ever one, I remember him.
Yeah, and what happened, like most reality TV shows, is they went, hang on a second, the competition's good, but no,
it's the characters.
It's the characters, it's the casting, it's the, and now Surviving.
My mate Badgie, the old honey badger, for being a gimmick. You need gimmicks.
Yeah, I know, yeah, that's right, you do, and you made me lose my train of thought, man, anyway. Yeah, so Survivor.
Yeah, with Russell.
Russell.
Your mate Russell.
My old boy Russell.
Yeah,
I'm getting old, man.
He got, like, dusted because, okay, he's a master manipulator of emotions. Okay, one thing I will say for Australians, as dumb as we can be sometimes, we're really good at seeing through bullshit. You know, because from my, like, brief experience of being in America, everyone's really fake.
Yeah, okay.
And I found there's a real fakeness around everyone there. Everyone's pretending to be friendly, meanwhile everyone hates each other and wants to shoot each other.
Yeah,
usually do. But there's that whole undercurrent of, you know, like, everyone, like, try to be nice and, you know, I'm being a nice guy and, you trying to scam me, and they all do that sort of shit. They always like thinking everyone's trying to scam them, but yet they're trying to scam everybody else. So that's why I think his game plan worked over there. Whereas in Australia, if someone comes in and someone comes like, as an Australian guy, someone walks up to you and goes, "Hey Steve, how you doing?" Like you don't know him, you're like, "Where the fuck are you from?" You know, like we pick through that sort of shit real quick. So I think while he was pretty good at manipulating other people that were being fake,
sure.
When he comes here and like, especially with like guys like the Commando and Matt, these real sort of people, they don't need that bullshit and they don't need to be fake, And so I think his game plan may have worked over there, but when you bring him over here where it's a lot different, I mean, and he would have had a target on his back because he's the only American. Yeah. Definitely. But it's one of those things that I don't think we fall for the bullshit as much. Yeah.
Are you going to watch The American Survivor when it's on next? Because I'll tell you what, that's the other thing. Jeff Probst. Yeah. I think we might have mentioned this before. Jeff Probst, the host of the American one, he is amazing. I don't know about this LaPaglia guy. You know, he got a job because of his,
It's Anthony Paglia's younger brother.
That's what because,
Yeah. Oh, well, he's officially the what's the name? What's his name? I lost it. I almost had like a really good segue.
Oh, please.
And I completely butchered it.
Well.
Here we go. No. Rewind. Anthony LaPaglia as little brother, Jonathan LaPaglia. He is the Frank Stallone of Australian television. And this is what I want to finish on. Steve?
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. That was seamless.
Man, that was good,
fucking seamless. I pulled that off.
Beautiful.
That was terrible. But yeah, watched Over the Top the other day.
Yeah, okay.
This is one we're going to finish on, and this is one thing I might just throw out to the audience. Is there a movie, I'm assuming everyone, like our listener, our demographic, the kind of people that have seen Over the Top, or at least are aware of what the film is about?
Sure.
It's the arm wrestling one. Why is everyone in the 80s, especially in this film, so fucking sweaty? It was like especially with that last scene where they're doing all the arm wrestling championships. Like even like the kid, like his son is like crawling through, under the stairs trying to get away. Oh, get that kid! And like Terry Funk's trying to get him. That's right. You forgot Terry Funk
is in there. Sure, of course.
But like even the kid, like watching Stallone, like his dad arm wrestle, the kid's sweaty. It's like the directors go, "All right, get the spray bottle out." Everyone's wet and action. Like it's just intense, ridiculous.
Arm wrestling championships are intense, man.
I was just watching it and I couldn't I've seen it before and I know it's a ridiculous movie, but the last 20 minutes, I'm just like staring at the TV like, why is everyone so fucking sweaty?
So much swamp ass. Yeah. You know what swamp ass is?
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be so much swamp ass in that room right about there.
So I think that's what we're going to leave us on.
Swamp ass.
If anyone... this is your new sup, y'all, isn't it? If anyone's that can point me in the direction of another film as sweaty as Over the Top, send it my way. I just thought it was ridiculous. It's almost as ridiculous as Nowhere to Run, the Van Damme movie,
film, of
because
course.
It's the John Woo directed one, and there's that last scene in the barn where they're fighting, and he every time you see Van Damme, he's in slow motion. It was just like another one thing like that, like explosion. Someone goes over here, there's doves because it's a John Woo movie. There's always doves, and then all of a sudden it cuts back to Van Damme. He's in slow motion. It was just like why?
Yeah.
So I just need like that. When something weird like that happens, it takes my eye. If you guys got something like that you can send us, let me know, because I'm always intrigued with these sorts of artistic choices.
It should be noted, though, that Spee, he's sweating profusely after he went on that rant, so... You've had an arm wrestling match before. You sweat, I'm just saying, you sweat.
I had turned my hat backwards, Hey, life meets no one halfway, okay? We'll leave it on that. So for Spee Caruana, saying goodbye for this week. For Steve Burrows,
see you later.
We'll speak to you next week. Peace.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.